Hello YouTube, I'm Vince White and I am an employment attorney. On this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. Excuse me, I have a hell of a chest infection today. Moving on, we have a question here from YouTube user Sherry144. And I only say Sherry because there's an accent mark over the E and I'm making some assumptions. Sherry says, hello, I reported discrimination which is preventing me from receiving future wages. I also reported a microaggression commentary about my dreadlocks and retaliation. Then, the following week, I was put on a plan to increase my workload, but they didn't give it a name or a title like a performance improvement plan. Essentially, though, that is what it is. How should I go about this? Okay, Sherry, first thing I'm going to say, simplest answer, schedule 3 to 5 free consultations with local employment attorneys. That's what you need to do. You're experiencing discrimination. I assume that discrimination is primarily of a racial nature, but you don't specify, so we don't know that for sure. In certain jurisdictions, dreadlocks as a hairstyle is protected. Natural hair, traditional hair in different jurisdictions can be protected. In New York City, both natural and traditional hairstyles are protected. But even in jurisdictions where you don't have local protections, I would argue, and I have argued, that dreadlocks are a inherent part of being of the African race, right? And I fully understand, like, not all black people have dreadlocks, obviously, and any culture can achieve dreadlocks. However, dreadlocks are a solid option that many African American people choose to utilize with their hair. There's advantages to dreadlocks for black people, essentially. So I would argue that's inherently a part of being black, and it's protected under federal law as well. And I will tell you that argument has carried weight and has won the day on many occasions. I understand not everybody will love that argument. Let me be upfront. I don't care what you love or you don't love. People hire me to win cases, and I'm going to do that. And if I can make an argument that's going to win that case, guess what? We're going to win, right? Like, I don't care what you think. I'm not here to help you. I'm here to help my client, right? So if I have to go to federal court and argue, hey, listen, the EEOC protects race from discrimination, and inherently dreadlocks are a racial feature, and that helps my client, I'm going to make that argument, right? I understand it's nuanced. There's also nuance between what is a natural hairstyle and a traditional hairstyle. And don't get that confused with what is a religious hairstyle. There are a variety of religious hairstyles. The one that springs to mind immediately, well, I guess the two that spring to mind would be the shaving of the head of certain monk faiths in Asia, and also the forelock of certain Jewish faiths, right? And these are protected as well. These are protected under a slightly different argument. It's religious discrimination, which is probably separate from your dreadlocks, although it does not have to be. There are faiths which do involve dreadlocks, and those protections are very, very real and omnipresent in all 50 states. So don't sleep on that. Now, again, we're going to go back to assuming you have a racial discrimination claim, and then you made a complaint about that, which included both the discrimination and the commentary about your dreadlocks. Then bad things started happening to you. You were essentially put on a PIP, a PIP, a performance improvement plan. That is a negative workplace consequence. You have experienced retaliation. You don't just have a discrimination claim and potentially a hair discrimination claim. You also have a retaliation claim. Your case could be really valuable. You should absolutely speak to local employment attorneys. If you don't like what local employment attorneys say, call the national firms. But try local first. Local tends to be much cheaper, and they can be really, really good. Okay? That's how you should go about this. Schedule those 3 to 5 free consultations with local employment attorneys. Get a feel for your options. We have a playlist on the channel about finding and pitching local attorneys. We have another place on the channel about evaluating local attorneys so you can make sure you're getting a good representation. I'd hit those two up. But yeah, I mean, Get an attorney. You also, I guess I should say, you don't need an attorney. I think you're way better off if you have an attorney. And like, if I had family that was thinking about representing themselves, I would like smack them around and cut them a check so they could pay their attorney. But and not me, somebody else. I don't represent family, right? But I'm just being clear. Like the people in my life who I care about the most, I would never let them go without an attorney. That should mean something to you if you're considering representing yourself in Sherry. I don't think you are. You're not saying you are. I think it's worth noting here. Essentially, you have claims. Claims plural. You might have claims under federal law. You might have claims under state law, wherever you are. You might also have claims under local law. Get a feel for what kind of laws apply to you where you are. Different jurisdictions are different. Different jurisdictions deal with traditional hair versus natural hair in different ways, believe it or not. And that's a crazy distinction to me, but those words do technically mean different things, and some jurisdictions have differentiated them for whatever reason in the case law or in the statutes. So I guess that's my advice here. Don't sleep on this claim. Don't wait for them to fire you. Get moving now. And Shaddy, I will be cheering for you to win this case and win it big. And yeah, that's everything. If this video was helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below, share our channel so it will grow. And like, seriously, like, it does help us help more people just like you if you like, subscribe, or comment. YouTube doesn't love our channel. They don't like what we talk. They don't like content about discrimination and like sexual harassment is not feel good stuff for their ads, so they don't like love our channel. So unless you do those things, our channel will never grow. And it's not your job to grow our channel. I'm just saying, like, if this did help you, it would be cool. Anyways, I'm wishing you a fat settlement check or a fat jury award, whatever it is. And screw those people. Those people sound like terrible people. Get them. Good luck.